pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Get my glasses, I can't see. Welcome to the August 1st meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Philipstown. Approval of minutes. Special meeting June 19th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Workshop meeting June 26th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Public hearing July 11th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Regular meeting July 11th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Committee reports, Conservation Board.
Conservation Board, I was not at the meeting in July of 2024, so I do not have a report. I did want to note that Chairman Andy Goller of the Conservation Board sent out a notice that kind of recognizing Philipstown's local environmentalism. The New York State DEC recently published a report, Natural Resources Protection in the Hudson Valley, Municipal Conservation Stories. It profiled the efforts of 7 municipalities in the Hudson Valley, which included Philipstown, for the reason of having a natural resource officer, wetlands inspector. Philipstown was able to take a holistic approach to conservation planning and enforcement. So Conservation Board was celebrating that, and they recognized the town's leadership through all the years.
I'd like to thank Andy Goller as well as all the members of the Conservation Board and Max, who goes out and represents us. They are a professional group and they're very good to work with. If you come in there, they will share their wealth of knowledge with the applicant, not just say, no, you're going to do it our way. They really work, and you see them in operation. They're a great group of people. My appreciation to Andy and the entire group, so thank you very much.
Yeah, and there'll be, Conservation Board is looking to replace a retiring member who's going to retire in the spring, so I guess we'll begin to keep a heads out for any community volunteer who wants to join that great body. And then they voted to not meet in August, so there's no August meeting of the Conservation
Right, and we're, I believe, Tara, we're going to advertise for that position, correct?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jason. Recreation.
Good evening. The Recreation Commission did not meet in July, but will be meeting in August, the last Tuesday of the month, August 27th. But the camp is in full swing at the Recreation Department and a huge success. And the pavilion is, there's work being done and significant progress on the pavilion at Philipstown Park. So we'd like to thank the Friends of Philipstown Rec for advocating for that. And also the Friends of Philipstown Recreation would urge anyone who would like to volunteer for the October 20th Castle to River Run. We need volunteers to help with the race, with parking. We always have volunteers from the town board with parking, but anyone else from the community come out and help. It's a wonderful race and there are runners from all over. So thank you to the Recreation Department.
Yes, I visited camp yesterday. Ooh, I think it's a record number of campers, 240, I want to say.
It's huge.
My goodness, there were kids everywhere.
Yes.
I don't know how they keep track.
And during
But
the
they did.
heat, they were amazing. They had so much outdoor activity with, cooling stations and activities that kept the kids cool
My
throughout
thanks
the
to the rec
heat wave.
committee and the
Great
group.
job.
Absolutely. Thank you, Judy. Philipstown Hub.
The Philipstown Hub has a new executive director, Semra Urson, who is starting on Monday, August 5th. And there's also a new community and crisis care coordinator, Ms. Alexandra Clegg, who will be starting on Monday, August 12th. The Hub has submitted an application to Putnam County for a grant to support the new space on Route 9, and we're very excited about that new space. The Hub is also active in the Modern Makers Market, and the next Modern Makers Market is Saturday, August 10th. The next Board of Directors meeting will take place on August 14th. As far as the number of contacts made, there were 3,760 from the end of the last fiscal year through until June 30th. And that is an average of 313 per month contacts that the Hub makes with people in the community. 51% of contacts made via email, 33% via the phone, 15% via text, and 1.5% in person, people stopping into the office. Actually, I stopped into the office this week and met one of the care coordinators, and it's great to have the locations that we have that are convenient for the community. The hub also has submitted examples of people that they've helped, and they're working currently with New York Presbyterian Hospital, a social worker who's asking for assistance with a patient who's expected to be discharged, and they need to organize the care in the community. Another local resident reached out for their adult child, and they have helped, the hub has helped set them up with care as well. So we're very grateful for all the care coordinators.
It's amazing, people, if you have no place to turn, the hub seems to be the answers for a lot of stuff that you wouldn't expect.
Exactly.
It really-
Connecting people in ways that you wouldn't expect. And
Thank
thanks to Chris Owens, who will be leaving after a few weeks. He's training the new executive director, but
He is going to stay on as a
he
consultant.
is going to stay on as a consultant, yes.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Judy. Thank you to the hub. Planning Board.
Okay, I attended the planning board meeting July 18th. The first thing on the agenda was the Garrison Golf Course Shakespeare Festival. They had a public hearing. This was the last public hearing that they're going to have. Though this public hearing was for a very small section of the property for steep slopes. There was 2 citizens that spoke. They had really had nothing to say about the steep slope area at all. They just wanted to keep on bringing up some other past concerns that they have, again, where the theater was located and so forth like that, and a red light. Anyway, that was a short public hearing. Public hearing was closed, and most likely next month they'll be getting all their final approvals from the planning board. Not next month, I'm sorry, they're not meeting in August, they'll be in September, I think 18th is the day of that. I'd also like to give thanks to the planning board. They put a lot of work into this. They've been, Garrison Golf Course has been in front of the planning board 3+ years now, and they really did a thorough job on this, like they do for all their applications. But there was a lot of work behind the scenes here that went on, and I'd just like to give a lot of thanks to the planning board for all their efforts that they do every single week, every single month, and every single day. We always have great teams on all our boards. Next on the agenda was Desmond Fish Library. They're building a construction an open-sided roof pavilion. That was a public hearing. No one at all had any public comments at all. So the public hearing was closed. Most likely they'll prepare a resolution for the next meeting to get their approval. Old business, Lake Surprise was doing a little subdivision. They acted on that and gave their approval to the subdivision was passed. Konsenki Plaza, which has been in front of the planning board for about almost 2 years now. That was the location up on Route 26 Route 9 in Cold Spring. They originally had the oil tanks up there, but as we know, we put a moratorium on that, and they're no longer doing that. So they've submitted the final traffic study. They're predicting 25 trips in the morning, 28 trips in the afternoon, and 19 trips in and out over the weekend. The study was reviewed, and we're going to give it to our consultant. We have probably AKRF will probably review it and give their findings back to the planning board again in September. Meeting was adjourned at 9:15. Next meeting, September 19th.
Thank you, Bobby. And yes, thank you to the planning board for all their efforts under the direction of Neil Zuckerman. They do a very thorough job, and it's a well-run group. My appreciation as well. Zoning.
Okay, zoning, well, first let me start. I hope everybody's enjoying their summer. The zoning board had a public hearing on July 8th. This was for Vasta 9 Cliffside Court in Garrison. This was like as I mentioned, it was a public hearing, and after listening to those in the audience and the residents, the zoning board approved the motion for the type 2 action under SECRA, and the zoning board also approved the motion to then close the public hearing after a lengthy discussion, lengthy discussion regarding the, regarding the 35% variance for the portion of the driveway to, that's got exceeded. So the zoning board discussed, as I mentioned, at length, and Mr. Facenda came in and they discussed about the hammering, and then, long story short, they went ahead and they approved the Vista 9 Cliffside Court. And in the words of Bob D., I know you have a lot of work ahead of you, And good luck, because they also have to go in front of the planning board and the conservation board.
This
Yeah.
group has been before us
Yeah,
as
I mean,
well.
they've been before,
Right,
but it
and
was
they're
a
looking
lengthy
to
meeting.
build off of, I can't think of the name, oh, it's Cliffside, which is off of, I can't think of the name.
Somewhere in
of it.
Garrison,
Right,
I
no, it's
mean,
Continental
Continental
Village, yeah.
Going through it.
What is it?
Upland.
Upland, there you go. I couldn't,
Cliffside.
I was drawing a complete,
They did reach all the 5 requirements that are for the zoning. So the zoning board had really no other option, but it was lengthy. They, you know, again, the public hearing.
Session for quite a while.
They did. They were there for a long time, but they do have to go in front of the planning board and the conservation board. So like Bob D says, good luck.
that's a well wish from Bob.
Yes, so-
My
and that's
thanks
it.
to Bob D and that committee as well.
And the next zoning board meeting is August 5th, actually on Monday.
Is that Vasta case, so that's in the area that was upzoned a few years ago, and so now they're trying to get a zoning variance
Right, well, they
because
got
they're in
it.
an upzoned
They got
area?
the,
They got the zoning
Two
variance.
variances.
I believe they have to go through the planning.
They have to go through the planning board. There's a possibility it may have to come back to the zoning board as well because the amount of space they're using is occupant more than it's supposed to.
Okay.
and they do have to go to the conservation board as well at
Exactly.
some point, so.
Yeah, they got a lot of steep slopes back there.
All righty.
I wouldn't want
That's
to build
it.
that there
Thank you.
myself, by the way.
It was a doozy.
Highway,
Highway submitted by Adam Hoteling, Highway Superintendent. Schuster Road in Continental Village had a washout during the storm in July. Ron Gator and Adam inspected the site. It was determined that a bigger fix, a retaining wall will be needed to properly fix the situation. The washout was temporary fix, and bids will need to go out for the work to be done in the final repairs. We're asking that all residents please understand that town Philipstown is roughly 30 miles of dirt road. In order to grade the roads in a logical manner, the grader machine needs to be moved along and being on one road until it's finish the job at one spot before it moves on to another location. With all the heavy rains, work has been finished can't be finished in one day, could be ruined in the very next day, however, with the rains that we have here, as everyone sees. We need to keep moving the roads that has not been graded in the list on the first place. So they start with a list, and they go down a list, whatever is work they consider to be worse, that's where they start at first. And they continue on that list until they complete it before they move on to the next road. East Mountain Road North was closed for a short time this month due to a water main break. The repair work was being handled by the Beacon, and it was been addressed. The road was closed for a while, and they repaved it. They did a nice job up there. I took a ride up myself, and they did a nice job on the paving. It looks very good. A new skid steer vac machine has been added to the highway to inventory, being paid from our new equipment line. The new addition will add the crews to picking up leaves in the fall. For the month of July, the highway department received approximately 40 phone calls or emails and roughly spent $6,200 on vehicle maintenance for the month of July. Submitted by Adam Hoteling, Highway Superintendent.
Thank you, Adam. Just a note on that water main break. So we were notified on Sunday morning that there was a water main break from the Cargill Reservoir, which is on East Mountain North, supplies the city of Beacon with water. I went up, and you would not believe the damage that pipe had created, and they couldn't shut the water off. Eventually, it was shut off, but I spoke to the mayor of Beacon. They were there within hours. Monday, they had everybody, actually that afternoon, they had everybody able to get in and out of their home. And then they paved it, I believe, the following Monday or Tuesday. It was done by a private. So thank you to the city of Beacon and for their effort to get out there rapidly and fix it. And Adam spent some time up there as well with our crew, so. But thank you to Adam and the highway crew as well. Building and land, I have nothing. Bobby, anything?
If you want to consider, we, at the Garrison Water District, we had a major leak over the last several weeks. We finally determined where it was just the other day. Once we determined where it was on Sunday afternoon, we had it fixed by Monday morning. By Monday, 12 o'clock, it was repaired. Anyway, we lost a lot of water. Hopefully, this is the last leak we have for some time because we were getting ahead of the game there for a while, and this set us back a little bit. But, as soon as we found out about it, we notified the right people, and it was taken care of in a really short amount of time. And I don't know if, Judy, we mentioned that at the rec center, they did dig the water line. I don't know if that was in your report.
Thank you to the highway department and Bob
Yeah.
for
So we
helping
dug the
with
water
that.
line from the well to the new building there as well. So that things are moving along, and I gotta get, so that's about all I have for that. And also, I checked with the sweet potatoes over there, are growing pretty good according to,
There's a big day planned for, I don't want to take some heat off of it, but there's a big day planned for the harvest. There will be a news release soon. It will be in early October. We're trying to coordinate it, as long as the sweet potatoes cooperate, that they're ready to be picked. The Haldane football team has a bye week, October 5th, and they're trying to get all the sports teams out there from the school to help with the harvest. So we'll all have to be there.
Thousands of pounds of potatoes, right?
15
I mean, what if it doesn't
15,000
harvest in time of
15,000.
October 5th?
It's going to be a wonderful day. I've been in contact with Stacy Farley from Davern Farm, and it's really going to be a wonderful day. So the news release will be coming soon, so I hope I'm not in trouble for releasing that.
well, they have their own irrigation system down there, so we don't really have to worry about rain, so it should be okay.
As long as it keeps growing, and it should be with this weather, I'm hoping so.
We'll feed a lot of people.
15,000 pounds this week.
Yeah.
So we're going to hopefully utilize the highway crew with some of the trucks so we can haul it out. So I think it's a wonderful.
Philipstown should start looking at recipes for sweet potatoes. I think there
We're
should
gonna have
there can be a lot of sweet potatoes, yeah.
Get on that.
Thank you.
Nothing I like
Cemetery
more.
committee, that's you.
Nothing to report for this month.
Okay, thank you. All right, on to the agenda, and welcome back to our town clerk. I'll get smacked for that.
First on the agenda is Climate Smart Coordinator Martha Upton to discuss the allocation of the remaining NYSERDA grant funds.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Martha.
So, I want to do a couple things here. First, I just want to update you on the grants, where we are with our various grants. We have a lot of them, and I have a couple questions, and then I want to get your thoughts on how to spend our remaining funds. For the first grant we got was a $175,000 grant, submitted along with a $10,000. So that money was approved. We've already signed the contract, and I will be speaking to the NYSERDA project manager and the contractors who will do the building studies next week.
Do you need me in that? I don't think.
I don't think so. That, if we can talk right now,
You got
that
it.
will be it. So, the three buildings that they will do the energy studies on are the Rec Center, the Depot Theater, and the Continental Village Clubhouse. So they asked me to ask all of you, do you have any particular concerns about any of those buildings that you would like the inspectors to focus on in terms of energy usage or whatever,
The rec center, to me, the biggest heat loss would be the windows,
the windows?
without a doubt. I mean, the gymnasium was re-insulated in, what year it was? Had to be 2011, 2012. They put the new ceiling in the gymnasium and insulated it. And then when they did the roof, they added insulation to the roof as well. So that, the roof of that building, that part of the, envelope should be good. But my feeling is the heat loss there would be the windows. So
What
that-
about the rest of the building aside from the gymnasium?
Well, I think that's what he's talking about, the windows on the rest of the building, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even there's windows in the gymnasium as well, but the rest of the building, I'm talking about the entire envelope of that building. The windows in my,
Yeah,
they're,
old.
they're from the 60s.
Okay,
Yeah, that would be the key.
all right.
Upstairs where like the ballet is, and then if you go back down the hall, there's the clay room, like there's the art room, then there's, you even go further.
Right,
I mean, the windows are quite thin
okay.
and.
All right, I will point them in that direction. What about the Depot Theater? Any particular?
They just renovated.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with any, specific, it's a building that was built hundreds of years ago, obviously. And I'm not even familiar with the heating system.
I've read a little about it from a previous study, and it looks like it's kind of a smattering of different solutions, and we want to have them take a look and see if it's all working. All right, so I think
Clubhouse and contact.
the clubhouse, any thoughts on that?
Not that I'm aware of.
That building's kind of old too, so, I don't know
That
how.
building has an old oil heating system.
Yeah, I'm sure it does, yeah.
And last time we had people look at it, they said we should get ready to replace that soon. So I'm hoping they will give us the go-ahead for doing something about that. We can't do any upgrades without their suggesting it in their
Has to be
studies.
part of the change.
Yeah, yeah, so,
In order to apply the money that,
exactly, in
Right.
order to use this money.
How often does the Continental Village Clubhouse get used? I mean, it used to be Oktoberfest, but how, does anybody know?
I think they have a monthly meeting in there.
they do rent it.
They
Yeah,
do
yeah.
use it, people can apply to use it for different things, but I know they have a monthly meeting there,
Yeah,
that's
at
all
least,
I know.
Yeah, okay,
But they can have special events. in
okay.
there.
And the rec has done some events there.
Yeah, there used to be classes there. I don't think they're doing it
You
anymore.
know, that camp down,
Yeah.
way back in the day.
The clubhouse is probably the least used out of those three buildings?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Depot's probably, one that would be really good to get to.
Well, we'll see what they tell us. So, the next grant that we applied for was the $100,000 grant, which was submitted along with a $7,500 grant. And we have been approved for those grants. We're waiting for the contracts to come in. Those funds will be used for three things: 2 public EV chargers at the rec center, a new Ford Lightning pickup for the rec center, and electric landscaping equipment for the highway department. As soon as the contract is signed, which could be in a month, could be in a few months, it's never certain, we will, from that point, have 3 months to complete those purchases. So at some point, John, you and I should talk about what that town purchasing process looks like, because I have no idea.
So that will be a reimbursement program?
That will
We
be
have to lay the
reimbursement.
money
We're
out.
going to have to front the money, but they will pay us back within 30 days. And I've heard from other towns that they're very good at doing that.
That sounds very
Yeah,
reasonable. Right.
yeah.
Well, we'll have to work with Adam as to what
Yes.
electronic.
Well, he already sent me the list. He has his company that he works with under a New York State, I don't know, some sort of bidding thing.
Brady's,
Yeah, so-
Brady's probably up there in
A state
Somerville.
bid organization.
Yeah, so, anyway, he knows exactly what he wants, and yeah, it's great. He wants some really good things.
And they're free. That's the best part.
They're free. So, yeah, as I said, I need to just have a better understanding of what the purchasing looks like. For example, if the truck's gonna be for the rec center, who buys it? Well, is that still through the highway department? All that. So we'll talk later. All right. The next big grant we have is the $250,000 grant. That application, we've been approved for that grant. I haven't put in the application yet, but we're going to use that money to install solar on the highway garage roof. We don't need to decide on a solar company before I submit the grant. Bob got me a good quote, I can use that, but we need,
You're getting another one too, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I guess we don't need another one because you've got it, but
But
they
we
may come
do-
out and look at the site. you
we
know,
do
or-
need to start whatever our process is. How many quotes do we need?
Well, I don't know, we have to put it out to bid, when it's gonna happen.
Right.
So we have to do RFP, whatever it is, but
So,
it's gotta go
yeah.
out to bid.
Okay, so we have to start moving on that.
Yeah, we start
Yeah.
moving it. The last time we basically used the same the company that I had used that as the process for bidding purposes and so.
Right.
Anyway, and, not Ron, but, Steve will work on that when we're ready.
Okay.
So, Bob, if it goes out to bid, is that usually like with the cycle be, let's say, next board meeting? Do you have to wait for a board meeting to get it out to bid? Obviously, we need to make a decision. Yeah, what do you think of the timing?
Yeah, we'll have to put a proposal together first.
It's
RFP
okay.
first. We have time.
There's not a big time crunch on this, because after we submit the application, it takes a while for them to even get back to me, to finalize that, and then we have more time, so it's okay.
You'll let us know when we need to panic.
Yeah, but it's good to just get it rolling.
Thank you.
Okay, so finally, we have 2 additional small grants, one for $20,000 and one for $15,000. I have committed to using the $15,000 grant for the rec center. They also want electric landscaping equipment, and they want quite a bit of it, so I think we can get them a lot. For the remaining funds, that last 20,000, we don't have that many options. It's not enough money to do any of these big projects, so I kind of think we should just put it towards additional building upgrades,
Okay.
because I'm sure we'll need the money if we're gonna do some windows.
In one of the facilities, there's gotta
Yeah.
be a use for it, without
Yes.
without a doubt.
So is everyone okay with that?
Are we gonna replace these chargers out here?
We are, and that's gonna
What's
happen.
gonna happen to those chargers that we have?
Those chargers we're just gonna own until, those are not gonna be connected ever to the network. And in other words, we're not gonna make money off of those chargers, because the company
No,
that,
I'm talking about the ones who are gonna be replaced. What are we gonna do with those ones?
yeah, I
Okay.
know, I'm telling you, those are not gonna ever be able to be used as money-making chargers, but we
No.
could put them anywhere we want in the town.
All right, so if we put it, the rec center gets one, we could put one down here, but I know they're gonna have one there already.
So we're having two at the rec center, we're having two here, so the question is,
Utilize them to charge our own vehicles.
That's what I'm saying.
yes.
So can you put one up at the garage?
We could probably
Right,
put
that's what
one
I'm saying.
inside the highway garage, so.
That would be
Some people
awesome.
are
Right,
using
that's
it.
what I'm
Yes,
thinking.
we
we
really
could-
should have one at the garage.
Right, and we could probably put one somewhere at the rec center where it's not
Right.
publicly
Right,
accessible.
Right, so we use that one if we're gonna get
Charge
our own vehicle, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
that would be great.
Yeah. So we're spares, they're kind of spares.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so one more grant that I wanted to mention to you, and Jason, I'm gonna call on you to expand on this a little, since you're the one who hooked us up with this, is, we got a separate non-NYSERDA grant. Philipstown joined with 13 other towns and cities, in an EPA grant application submitted by Hudson Valley Regional Council for landfill emissions mitigation. Yeah, so, a large proportion of our emissions in this whole region come from closed landfills. They're really a bad culprit for methane. Do you want to talk a little about it, Jason, or?
I mean, I guess I would just refresh this. This was a couple months ago. I think it was in April, and it's just a grant with how many other, maybe 10 other municipalities?
13 other,
13 municipalities, and it's just going to, they're all municipalities with cap landfills. It's just gonna measure the emissions coming off of the cap landfill. The funding has funding to create kind of biosinks if there's any escaping emissions. They're pretty simple. They're pretty much like tubes that run into.
Into the vent pipes that are on the.
Exactly, like attached to the vent pipes, they're basically like giant piles of wood chips. I mean, it's a little bit more, but it's.
Like a filter.
Exactly, it's just like a biofilter, and then also includes, I think, $50,000 for solar development, like feasibility work. So we've all kind of talked about that, but that would provide funding to kind of find out more about solar. Yeah.
We already did an assessment up there, right?
we did an assessment, but we still have questions, particularly about connecting to,
Right.
yeah,
They didn't have that,
Three-phase.
three-phase,
yeah.
but something that can always get installed.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we'll be having more information about that soon. So that's very exciting. I think it's amazing that so many towns are going in on it.
Every time I open my email, we're getting a grant for NYSERDA. It's wonderful work you're doing. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks for the update as well.
Next is a resolution authorizing the town clerk to renew the license issuing agent agreement with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, including the recent amendment to said agreement. So if you recall, last month you approved the agreement, or the amendment, and when I sent it into New York State, they said that it was still listed under the previous town clerk, and in order to switch everything over, I should just do a new contract instead of.
So can I get a motion to authorize the town clerk to renew the licensing issue agent agreement with New York State Department of Environmental Conservation?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? And I vote aye. Thank you, Tim.
Next is a resolution accepting the proposal of Putnam Engineering PLLC for professional services on Old Manitou Road culvert drainage study, and this is a roll call vote.
Okay, this is the culvert that we lost in one of the storms, I believe the July 9th storm on the very southern end of Old Manitou Road. So this is a roll call vote. Does anybody want me to read the resolution? Okay, so can I get a motion to accept the proposal for Putnam Engineering for professional services on Old Manitou Road?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Councilwoman Farrell.
I vote aye.
Councilman Angel.
Aye.
Councilman Flaherty.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cotter.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Thank you very much.
Next is a resolution appointing Kevin McKeon as Town Comptroller effective immediately.
So last month, if you recall, we removed the residency requirement for the comptroller. Kevin has been the accountant for the town of Philipstown, and if you know Kevin, what a professional individual, wonderful guy to work with. So he has been doing the job, so we are tidying this up to allow him to officially become the town comptroller effective immediately. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? And I vote aye.
Next is a resolution appointing Susan Kenney as clerk to the supervisor effective immediately.
Does that mean we have to fire her as comptroller first?
Fire you, and then we're gonna rehire you.
We're gonna fire her as comptroller and hire her as a clerk. So, we explained this last month, but when Ann retired as the confidential secretary to the supervisor, we did not replace that position, and Susan has moved over to fill that spot as well as working with the comptroller's office. So can I get a motion to approve Susan Kenney as clerk to the supervisor effective immediately?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? And happy birthday to Sue today. Today is her birthday, so happy birthday.
So mad.
She does, I know, she does such a wonderful job. Yeah, whatever.
Next on the agenda is to schedule any workshops or meetings. Our regular monthly meeting is scheduled for September 5th. We have a workshop request from group Protect the Highlands, and they have requested a workshop for August 21st, 7:30 p.m.
Sure. Yeah.
And then we have another workshop request from Glenn Watson at Beatty and Watson. He wants to discuss the potential for the town to take over the conservation easement for Hudson Highland Reserve.
So I'm going to suggest that we push that to allow the town attorney to review the proposal, if we can do that on September 4th, which is the Wednesday night prior to our regular monthly meeting. Does anybody have a problem with that? Nope. That should work. Will that allow you enough time to review? It would be the Wednesday, September 4th, prior to our meeting.
A workshop.
Oh, wait, are we on the 5th?
Our regular meeting's the 5th, so we would do a workshop the Wednesday night
Thank you,
before.
okay.
Wednesday night I'm official. I can't be here.
Can we do,
Well, would you need to be here as long as the resolutions are in place?
Well, what you might want to do is start your meeting at 7, and we could go over the
Oh, you mean on
conservation
Thursday
easement
night.
on the Thursday, and then just,
The issue is they would need a commitment for us prior to their meeting with the planning board, which is in September also. We could always meet a Wednesday between our monthly meeting and that.
if I schedule for the day, John, I'll be happy to come and, meet with you, but I can't do it September 4th.
You can't do the 4th, I understand that. But I'm just saying, is it necessary that you're actually here for that workshop?
It's up to you. I mean, it depends if you need legal advice or not.
Well, let's put it down for the 4th now, and then we can finalize it later, and then we'll chat about it.
Okay.
I'm just hoping to give you enough time to review the proposal.
Yeah, but now in September, I don't think it'll be a problem.
Okay, all right, so we'll put it down for the 4th now, and then we could always push it to a Wednesday after our monthly meeting, that we could review it and approve it if we choose to do so.
Next on the agenda is the Code Enforcement Monthly Report, and this is for July. Total fees collected was $31,970. There were 33 total permits issued. 4 additions, alterations, or repairs to residential buildings, 28 all other permits. There were 18 certificates of occupancy issued, 1 stop work order issued, 1 permit issued for the use of pyrotechnic devices, 2 inspections of public assembly, and 2 inspections of commercial occupancies.
Okay. Thank you to Greg Warner. And the clerks in the office there as well.
Next is any other business that may come before the board.
I'd just like to say one thing. Just the other day, I had if everyone looked up East Mountain Road North and East Mountain Road South, I had to work with the county and county legislature in Montgomery to get a stop line painted on the road on both north and south, and a single yellow line go about 50 yards up. So I think so anyway, I asked that for many years and we finally got it, so. So thank you to Nancy, and also thank you for the county highway department.
And I would just like to thank Debbie Milner, who founded the Philipstown Pickleball League. She is stepping back from it, but she had started a great activity and recreational program for people in the community, and want to thank her for that service. She won't be she's, I believe, moving soon, but we just are grateful for her work at the rec department and also in the community to start this league.
She's one of those people, if she puts her mind to doing something,
Yes,
it gets done.
that's true. She's
There's no-
organized it, and, you know, a lot of people got to play, and I learned myself how to play pickleball, so it was a wonderful thing. I'm a pickleballer. Thank you, Debbie.
I love it. Thank you, Debbie. I have nothing else. Anything from the audience? Hi, Nat.
Hold on, anything,
Couple of quick items.
Go ahead, Nat. We're ready for it. Thank you.
Sorry. My name is Nat Prentice, and I'm here on behalf of the town's comprehensive plan committee, of which I'm the coordinator. And I promise you, I'll never miss another town board meeting. I mean, that really hurt. I'm sorry, because I came to a meeting and somebody was saying, "Nat, where were you?" They were asking for, "Where were you?" I apologize. I'm not going to miss any more meetings. It's too important, you know. And I tell you what, there's a lot of towns that are getting around to trying to update their comprehensive plan. So I think it's useful to, you know, Megan, I got to get you to put up with me a little bit because it's a useful exercise. So a couple items. Jason, for you, I have one for you. When you get to reading that report that you were talking about that Andy Geller called you about, and I'm not doing it to tout myself, but you'll also find that she interviewed the person who wrote it, who's a Cornell graduate student, also interviewed me as because she wanted to know what the comprehensive plan activity had been. It is a good report. What's interesting is that Philipstown comes out great. I mean, we're in the very, very top, but we're not the top. New Paltz is. And the difference is this, something we'll get to in the fall. They have a preservation plan funding mechanism, and we don't.
We have the plan, we just don't have the.
We got the plan, they got the plan, they also have a funding mechanism. And when asked the question, and I did, why do they get a few more points than we get? The answer is, they got a funding mechanism, and you all should think seriously about it. So,
Our polling, the company that did the polling with us had done New Paltz as well, and the timing was, there was a heated debate. I can remember them
no,
identifying.
and the timing still may not be good, but
The timing was prior to COVID. Unfortunately, ours was right in the height of COVID when it was done. And that really, the polling as to whether it would fly or it wouldn't fly was.
well,
was
there you
not
go.
good.
But that's the difference. You want to be New Paltz, you want to beat New Paltz the next time, or at least tie them. We'll have to think about that.
Without a doubt.
That's right. It's not,
Thanks to
not a competitive sport, but we're going to do it.
Really know what motivates us. It's like, we all want to be number one.
Just a little follow-up, because I gather it came up on the meeting that I missed. this notion of we all trying to, or thinking about, signing a letter of intent that puts us in the running for something called a New York State pro-housing community, which I couldn't find too many strings attached to, but there's some work. If you do it, then there's some work, because you got to get the building department to do this and do that and do that. And you know what else? You have to do it every year.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not without, but I don't think it has any nasty teeth that require us to mandate this or, well,
Questions, I mean.
well, I'm trying to address them.
We are willing to participate without a doubt.
Okay. Well, I mean, again, it's probably just good to get that.
Well, and I
Just to
think
say
our-
we have it,
I
so.
think our zoning plan and our building department really don't need a lot to participate.
Well, will
I
you
think
give
it's-
that, you know, when we get it, will you come, I'm happy to follow up on it.
Yes,
And go through it with them. It's again, one of those painstaking, you gotta take down their format,
Right.
and you've got to fill in
Apply it.
all the blanks.
Right.
But if they need somebody to go with them on it, I'll do it, but I need you to say, it's okay, let this guy not bother you.
I give you that blessing. Thank you, Nat.
Okay. We can do that, and we should, because I also had somehow or another, I happened to be on a committee that Assemblywoman Dana Levenberg has organized, and she's talking about, she's got a couple of bills, maybe she told you, John, she's got a couple of bills in the new session that address housing and talk about, I mean, she wants to make sure that nobody gets a mandate to build stuff or that our local zoning gets overruled. But she's using terms like, you know, towns should have a housing assessment report, and towns should have a housing action plan, and towns should have a updated comprehensive plan.
State should fund these programs.
Exactly. But, you know, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there, so we're not behind on that front. I think I think the rest of it's just folklore. That is to say, that nice. Judy, do you know Semra Urson? Have you come to know her?
Yes,
Because she's, as you know, she's the former Shakespeare Development Officer,
yes.
and also a school board member in Beacon. I mean, she's a wonderful person. Everybody really.
When Chris took over, he came in and did a, presentation. She should probably.
She should come in.
Yeah, she should come in and say
Maybe in
hello.
September, or give her a little time, maybe October meeting. Yeah, no, yes, that would be great.
Okay, I have one other idea, just one idea about a future workshop sometime next year.
Got
Okay?
Pick a
I wonder
date.
whether I'm trying to keep us slightly ahead of the game, because
We appreciate it.
these things are coming at us. You may have noticed that the other towns in Putnam County have gone out of their way to put moratoriums on anything that comes close to being described as an energy storage facility. You know, rather than learn anything about it, they just say no. I'm thinking we should learn something about it, because the technology is getting better all the time, and New York State is amongst the most. This isn't Texas; it's New York State. They've got some really serious regulation in place. We should learn about. Don't you think, Jason?
Well, it seems like if we're all working on the solar policy, maybe we can look at the energy storage as part of that.
Yep.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
They
Fits.
go hand in hand.
Yeah, but it's interesting. I mean, you have noticed this. I mean, these
Next year,
other.
we're gonna have too much power generated and no place to put it.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
But they've got a battle royale going on over
Yes,
on
they
the other side. But it's, the debate, it has nothing to do with really finding anything out. It's just, we don't want this. We need to be a little more enlightened than that, and we are.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay?
Thank you, Nat.
I'm just,
Appreciate it.
Yes, one more, John, hold on.
no. I'm just, my job is to needle you a little bit, and to keep you thinking about these things, because I think that's a good idea. Thank you for your patience.
Vacancies, we have one for the Board Assessment Review. We're going to advertise for that. Yes, please. Okay, approval of vouchers, general.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? And I vote aye. Highway,
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? And I vote aye. Continental Village Park District? Second?
Second.
All in favor? And I vote aye. Continental Village Water District?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? And I vote aye. Motion to adjourn. Thank you very much.